Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, you know who I am, so I don't really need to tell you. But with me, as always, the man that puts the flash in flashy, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm excited every time you have one of my friends on. It isn't that I don't enjoy everybody else, but there's a special thrill when it's someone I know personally. And let's both of us.
That's everybody. Literally.
I know.
Every time we have a guest and you're like, this is one of my friends. I'm like, I should have just called Jeffrey Mark to book this. It would have been easier.
And let's give a shout out to our partner, Jeff, who is under the weather and is watching to make sure that we do it right.
Well, he'll probably watch a little bit and fall asleep and then wake up at the end and go, I missed it.
But we have a spectacular guest. Why don't you tell the folks about her?
No, why don't you?
A beautiful woman, a talented woman, a wonderful singer, so wonderful that we want to do a show together, a songwriter, a presence, a heart, somebody I really like. And personally and on stage, we're talking about the wonderful Laura Pursell.
Thank you. Oh gosh, I sound so important. I love that intro. Thank you.
My pleasure, sweetie.
Best.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is really exciting. I'm thrilled to be here. I've been looking forward to this all week.
We've been looking forward to it since I booked it a month ago.
That too. Well, I didn't, I saw the book. I didn't realize it was Jeffrey. And I don't know how that's passed my. I'm like, oh my God, I know Jeffrey. This is exciting. And the last time I saw you was when I did my show in LA
at the Hard Rock Cafe.
The Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood.
You were doing a benefit.
I was doing a benefit. That's right.
Now
I was there ringside cheering you on.
Now I have to come to LA.
You were so much fun, and that was, it was a morning show, which is weird. It was hard to get people out that early in the morning, and I have to thank you so much for making that.
You had a full house of very appreciative people.
I did,
and all of us said the same thing. Where is the coffee? What time can the coffee arrive? Could you please bring some more coffee?
I know.
Because none of us are awake at that hour usually.
Stephen Wishnoff said, I don't do this for anybody. It's like, oh, thank you. You did it for me.
So all of these celebrities come to this show because of Laura and because it's a charity, but at an hour that, I don't put on sparkles that early.
Celebrities don't get up that early.
But I did for Laura.
And Hollywood Boulevard was pretty quiet. It was that early. There wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah, all the noise came from us.
So what's that like? Is that like noontime?
Yeah,
it was 11.
11.
Oh, I was close.
It was 11. Oh my God. Yes, it was 11. It was 11.
By 11 o'clock, I've already gotten 6 hours in.
I right. Well, in Hollywood, that's like 5 a.m. anywhere else. And it was,
it's one thing, like sometimes I'm broadcasting to England or Europe or something, and I'm up at 5 o'clock, or I'm going to do a morning show in New York or Boston, and I have to be here doing this at 5 o'clock in the morning. But sitting behind my desk and doing this and getting all dressed and traveling somewhere.
Yes.
And then the show starts at 11. Yeah. They could not brew enough coffee. And then Laura started singing and nobody cared because we had a great time.
It was an early morning for me. I had a string section. That is the only time I believe the Hard Rock Cafe has ever had a string section.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah.
And I wish I was there for that.
You were in great voice. I kept saying to the people I was sitting with, how can she sing at this hour? And then you just knocked us all out.
Luck. I got to bed early the night before. I got up really early before the sun came up. I was doing my vocalizing. I was ready.
And it wasn't raining.
It wasn't raining. It was actually, we really lucked out. It was a really beautiful day, and Lisa Gibbons was there. She was an incredible host. It was just an amazing day. I'll never forget. And I thank you.
I know I had a wonderful time. I thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'm jealous. That's all. I'm just going to say I'm jealous.
Well, you know what? I feel kind of sad because that's the last time I saw so many people, including our dear friend Harlan, who has lost his home in the fire. So many people I know have lost their homes in Altadena and in the Palisades. And it's just, I haven't been out there in several months. How is it going? How is everybody?
It's tough going for people. Palisades is so toxic. People can't even still visit their homes yet. What's left of whatever.
Right.
So everyone, by the way, we're talking about my publicist and Laura's, Harlan Bowl, who lost his home in Altadena, burned it to the ground.
Everything.
Thank God. If you can hear my knocking on my microphone, knock on wood. He's doing well. It's going to be a long climb back, government and insurance people and stuff. But Harlan is functioning. Harlan is doing his job. Yeah. Harlan is safe. He's got a safe place to live, and he's keeping all of us going. And hopefully we're keeping him going as well.
Well, yes. When he set up this interview, the first thing I said was, "You're working? Are you okay? Where are you staying?" He keeps going. He keeps going. Amazing.
I think Harlan was working within 48 hours. He's just amazing. Well, show business people ask, and this is a segue to you, Laura.
Yeah.
I get asked a lot, breaking through. How come some people get into it and other people with talent just sort of never get anywhere? And one of the answers I give is being a professional.
Yeah.
You are a total pro, Laura.
Thank you.
Why don't you talk to that? What does it mean to you to be a pro in our business?
To really want it and to be driven and to hold yourself to a standard. I think you just have to really, really want it. You have to be hard on yourself. I mean, you have to get up. You have to put the work in. It's just, there's no other way. There's no other way.
Well, I will ignore what you said hard on. And then I want to ask you.
Oh, man. Zoom.
Kazinga.
Hey,
Squirrel.
Whoa.
We're in it to win it.
We are.
So was there something in your background before you became famous, before Laura Pursell was a name, that like, okay, I've got to do this? Was it an event or was it a series of things that pushed you?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me this question. I have such a good story for you.
I know.
I was not planning on talking about this. All right. This is not going to paint me in the most flattering light, but I'm going to tell you what happened. I was in college at the University of Tennessee. I had a degree. I was going for a degree in advertising. Now, I grew up pretty shy. I was kind of a wallflower. My dad was a very well-known pianist and composer, Bill Pursell, so there was not a lot of oxygen left in the house for me. My mom was an amazing writer and publicist, and, they were huge personalities. And I spent most of my life kind of, apologizing for them and being embarrassed by their hugeness and their fabulousness. So fast forward to my senior year at the University of Tennessee, and we had to deliver a part of our thesis, if you will, was a campaign for a brand new cereal that was being sponsored by Kellogg. Now, the Kellogg company sponsored this competition, and it was held across campuses, nationwide. It was called campaigns, and it was a big deal. You go into campaigns and you put together a media plan, you design the cereal, you name the cereal, you have to pitch it to the ad people. And I, for whatever reason, decided to take this terribly seriously. And my teacher at the time, his name was DeForest Jackson. He was the man who created all the ad campaigns for Fresca, he did that commercial. Do you mean Mean Joe Green? Was it?
Oh, sure.
And he goes, "Thanks, Mean Joe." And the kid walks out and you just cry. He was a torchbearer in the Olympics. This guy was a total winner. And in the class, he said, "This is the biggest class of this entire university. This is the biggest class you'll ever have. This is very important. The rules are, there are no rules. There are no rules, because that is life." And I took that to heart. We were divided up into teams. I was voted the team leader. I don't know why. It could have just been my fabulousness. They just decided that I should be at the helm of this ship. And when he said there are no rules, I literally, something in me was just awakened, and I had to win this competition. I had to win. I had to do whatever it took. He said, "There's a sign-up sheet for the space. You guys do what you can." I raced to the list. I took all the spaces for my team. Everyone. Ruthless. And Dave Richards' team was, Laura Pursell, she took all the slots. That's not fair." He said, "What did I tell you? The rules are, there are no rules. You should have thought of that yourself. You're going to have to go find another rehearsal space." So that was the beginning. So then we wrote our media plan. I had him call the Chicago office of William and Morris or someplace. It was some huge company to get media rates so that we could use them in our plan. And he said, well, how can I do that? I'm just a student. And I said, well, you lie, act, pretend like you're a big ad man, get the ad rates. And so he did. And they were so impressed with him, they wanted to fly him to Chicago to give him more information. And then he caved and said, I'm really just a student at the University of Tennessee. And I said, you idiot, you should have just gone. You should have gone. Don't ever, 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 ever admit that you were acting. So he didn't go to Chicago. We created the media plan. And I was going to be the one presenting it because I was the actor. I was, at that point I had already been on stage and done some things. And when it came time for the presentation, this was the day before, there was a tech rehearsal and the other teams were allowed access. They had to have a tech rehearsal. I couldn't take that away from them. Right. So as I saw them going into the tech rehearsal, I saw them bringing in rolls of tape, carts, slide projectors, screens, boxes. And I thought, oh, that's how they're going to lose. It's too complicated. So I stripped us all down to nothing. It was just me and the words and selling the hell out of this media plan. So we go in during our tech rehearsal, we rehearse. And as we're leaving, I saw painter's tape on the ceiling and on the wall and on the floor. They were markings for Dave Richards' team to put the slide projector and the tape and the.
You didn't.
I see where that's going.
I did.
I love it. I love it.
There are no rules. There are no rules. I was like, guys, the tape. Get it out, rip it all off, all of it. They were, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. I said, yes, we are. Yes, we are. And you are going to help me. We got on ladders. We peeled up. By this time, they were so into it. They wanted to win almost as badly as I did. I then took the extension cords. I rolled them up into a pile and I hid them in a drawer behind someone's desk. By the time we left that room, it was bare. It was nothing. So, the next day we go in to do the presentation and we're just riffing. We were loose. It was great. I felt for the first time in my life, I felt like a star. I really held the audience and I could tell that the judges were just eating up every piece of shit that I was saying, everything they loved. And as we walked out with confidence, in comes David Richards' group with all these carts of boxes and rolls of paper and tape and film. And I was like, good luck finding your place. So they went in, they couldn't get set up in time. They got docked. Everything was in the wrong place. They were so thrown. They forgot part of the presentation. I won by a landslide. I won.
Of course you.
It was like 50 points. It was some insane margin. It was like the highest margin of any winner ever at the University of Tennessee during campaign. And I came home. I was so proud of myself. I was just gloating. I mean, I'm a winner. I did this on my own. I did it. I didn't care how I did it. I just won. I was dripping with power, with just this confidence. So I go home. And I'm talking to my mom, and I had a couple glasses of wine, and I let it slip, how it happened. And she was appalled. She was absolutely appalled. She said, Laura, are you proud of yourself? I have this nice, genteel Southern mom who's very colorful. And I said, yes, I am proud of myself. And she said, you would do that again? Yes, I would do that again. I would absolutely, I would do that again. And she said, well, you and my mother have a lot in common. And I guess that's where I got it. I guess I got it from my grandmother. And I never told anyone that I never told my roommate. My roommate was on the other team. I didn't tell her. I had listened in on her phone conversations to find out what their plan was. I found out the name of the cereal that they had named. I was horrible. I was just awful. And looking back on it now, I cannot believe that was me. I cannot believe I did that. That was somebody else, yet it was me. So obviously I have that dark passenger inside me. And I just remember that being the first time I was like, I need to be on stage. This is my spot. This is where I belong.
Yes.
And I will say I never did anything like that again. Yet. But I have not.
Well, the moral to that story, folks, is that there was no rules.
There were no rules. The rules are there are no rules. Now, was this DeForest Jackson's fault for awakening this demon inside of me? Was this?
We'll go with that.
Was I going to sooner or later?
No, this is all in you, Laura. That's why you are where you are.
The thing was, I didn't need to do it. We would have won anyway. Just on the strength of our presentation. I didn't need to sabotage the team. I was horrible. But I think it's ironic. I end up playing Tanya Harding in a music video.
I was going to say that.
She didn't need to do that. She had a triple axel. Nobody else could do a triple axel. But she felt like she had to cement the deal. And that's what I did. I had to cement the deal, man. I had to make sure there was no margin of error that we were going to win that competition.
There's no button to my next question. I'm just curious. What was the name of this cereal you came up with? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. It was so bad. We named it Brand Strands. Brand Strands. It just sounds gross. It just sounds gross. But I created the jingle. I sang the jingle. We did a whole brand. Doesn't it sound nasty?
Do you remember the jingle?
Sounds like poop. Yeah. Oh yeah. Brand strands. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. I did. I ripped off. What is it? American Bandstand.
Bandstand. Yeah.
I ripped off American Bandstand and I made it Brand Strands. How stupid. How hokey. Like,
no, how brilliant.
Did I not come up with something a little more creative?
Did you have fun doing it, though?
We're going to eat it. We're going to eat it today. Ba-da-da-da-da. Brand Strands. Brand Strands. And they harmonized with me. We went into a studio. We recorded the jingle. And the other team, you know what the name of their cereal was?
What?
Manna, like manna from heaven. That's a good name.
Yeah, but it's not fun. Your cereal is fun.
It just sounds like something when you go to the doctor, he's like, well, you know, go home and eat some manna or eat some Brand Strands and you'll be okay. No, thank you.
We had to have come up with like 50 names for that damn cereal. I don't know why we settled on Brand Strands. And I know I came up with it.
Because it's funny.
I think it was because she was too busy pulling tape off the ceiling and she was like, this is much more fun.
It's just a horrible story. And I don't even know why we're talking. What did you ask me? You asked me like when I decided to become a professional. Sorry,
if I can do Brand Strands, I can do anything.
That's right.
I got away with it.
So take us from Tennessee to when did you start working as a professional?
Gotta get
pull it together. Come on now.
Hold on. Get it out. Shake it off. Okay. I came to LA I had a bad breakup with a boyfriend. I walked in on him on Christmas Eve with another girl sitting at my place at the Christmas dinner table. That was pretty bad. So my uncle offered me a job in California and I took the job because I thought I'm going to show him. I'm going to go as far away as possible. I'm going to go to, if it had been New York, I would have gone to New York. If it had been Chicago, I would have gone to Chicago. It just happened that this company that my uncle had a job in was in California. So I go to California. I quit the job within 2 months. I couldn't stand it. It was sales. I mean, as soon as I graduated with the degree in advertising, I realized I really was not cut out for a desk job. So of course I get I met someone who said, oh, you should take some acting classes at South Coast Repertory Theater. So I enrolled in the South Coast Repertory Theater in Costa Mesa. And then I was bitten by the bug in a massive way. And that was it. I mean, that was it. I did so much theater. I got paid nothing. I didn't care. I worked in Redondo Beach, Palos Verdes. I went down to Laguna. I took every non-union, non-paying. I just wanted experience. And I won't get into all the details, but I made my way up to LA. I probably lived in 14 different places in 10 years, and I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
I enrolled in the Beverly Hills Playhouse. I studied with Milton Katselas and and Jeffrey Tambor and Jocelyn Jones. And that just, I mean, it absolutely changed my life. And I found this community of people I loved, and I loved acting. I just loved it. I loved getting lost in characters. I was never a leading lady. I was always going to be like the second banana character actress. And once I was able to swallow that pill and be okay with it, it was actually a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of really fun things. And then when I was doing children's theater, they asked me to sing a song. And I was like, well, I'm not really a professional singer. I sing in the shower. I did Randstrand's commercial to American Bandstand, but I don't sing. And so I sang, and they were like, you have a pretty good voice. And I was like, oh, thanks. So the guy that I was doing theater with said, well, I have a gig at the Lucy Florence Coffee House on Santa Monica Boulevard. Do you remember that place? It used to be, It was right by the Hudson Theater.
Yeah.
And he said, I need a backup singer. Can you, and I was on it. I mean, any opportunity. I just never said no. That's another thing. Never say no. I never said no. I said yes to every single opportunity I had. It didn't matter what it made. I don't care what, havoc it wreaked on my life. It didn't matter. It was a job. It was opportunity.
I was the same way.
Yes.
If someone said, can you?
Yes.
Before I heard what it was, I answered yes.
Of course.
And then I learned how to do it.
Not yes, but hell yes. Yeah. Do you know how to do this? Yes. I'll learn. I will learn. So I learned how to become a singer. I did background vocals for him at Lucy Florence, and the guys who owned the place, they were this fabulous, they were twins that owned the place. I can't remember their names. They were so awesome. Ron and somebody else. Anyway, they loved me, and they offered me a show. They said, we want you to do your own show. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I didn't know songs. I didn't know charts. No clue. Didn't play an instrument. And he said, we really like you. And we can help you pack the house. Can you do this in 2 weeks? And I said, yes.
Of course.
I said, yes. I go home to my sister. I live with my sister in an apartment. And I'm like, Margaret, I've got a gig. I've got a real gig in 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to find a piano player, I think. And she said, well, I know a guy named Steve Lockwood. I just met him. He plays jazz. He's supposed to be really good. Call him. So I call Steve Lockwood. I had balls the size of Texas. I cannot believe I did this. I call him. I said, my name is Laura Pursell. I'm an actress. I think I'm a singer. And I have to do a gig in 2 weeks. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you help me? And he started laughing. He thought that was so fabulous. He said, you don't know what you're doing. I said, no, I need songs. I said, I know Summertime and I know Making Whoopee. Those were my 2 songs. Those were the only songs I knew. I said, I need 2 sets. I think I need like 15 more songs. And I'm really fast. I'm a fast learner. And he said, well, this is crazy. Let's do it. And I went to his little shabby apartment. He lived in this hovel. I went over there and we put together 2 sets. And I invited everybody from the Beverly Hills Playhouse. And of course, they're such a supportive community. They all came. So I packed the house with all these actors. Packed. And it was me and Steve on piano and a bass player I'd never met before. And we did the show, and we did Nature Boy. I love Nat King Cole. And so of course I picked all these songs, Bette Midler, things I liked. And I was doing Nature Boy, and all of a sudden I got lost, and I didn't know where I was. I was the bridge. So I just start scatting. I've never scatted. I'm just like, and Steve looks over at me and he's like, you really don't know what you're doing, do you? You really don't know where you are. You really don't know where you are. I was like, no, get me back from the top. Again, I got away with it. I got away with it. And they invited me back, and then I became a regular, and then that led to other things. And then I decided to, I really need to know my shit. I need to study music. So I started taking piano lessons. I studied with Seth Riggs, vocal coaching. I was serious. I really, really wanted to learn this craft. I didn't want to be just some fly-by-night idiot who just says yes and never delivers, So I really worked hard. And my uncle stepped in and financed my first CD. And I was able to network through sitting in at the Money Tree and various people in the various jazz clubs that were still around at that time. I was able to work with some real A-list players, guys who worked with Frank Sinatra, guys who were on The Tonight Show. I learned, and I'm so blessed. I worked with Ron Anthony, who was Frank Sinatra's guitar player. I worked with Barry Zweig. I worked with Ross Tompkins, the piano player from The Tonight Show.
Tonight Show forever.
Yes, I worked with Earl Palmer, the drummer. He got me my first gig at the Money Tree. I don't know why the universe decided to just shower all of these fantastic, legendary talents in my world. And they loved me, and they took me under their wing, and they taught me so much. And they're all gone.
Because you had talent.
Yeah.
And you wanted it, and you were willing to do anything to make it happen.
I was.
And when we do that, because all the people who have helped me through the years, the huge names.
Yes.
And why me? Because I had the talent, and I really wanted it. And I was open to receiving, not just receiving the help, but doing like you did something with it. When people see you taking what they give you and doing something with it, then they want to give you more.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jeffrey. That is so true.
100%.
You have to receive, and you have to give back. And and when you're in it, you don't think about it. You're just so full of so much passion for it, and the love of performing, and the love of expression, and doing something that you kick ass at. Like, this is something I can do. I do this well.
You sure do.
Oh, it's thank you. It sounds like I'm bragging. But
Laura, never apologize for telling the truth about your talents.
Right?
You're not bragging. This is how it is.
No, we're gonna brag though. We are gonna brag. So fast forward a little bit here to your first national recognition in 2001 in Palm Springs. You sang for President Gerald Ford and his wife. Like, okay, now we can brag.
I mean, I was at the right place at the right time. I was with this Al Yankees band, and I was just the chick singer in the band. I was just, it was a benefit. I did lots of benefits in Palm Springs, cancer benefits, and the airplane hangar and all this stuff.
Right.
And he called me. He goes, "Can you do the song What I Did for Love?" And what I did for love, that song. And I said, sure. Okay, why? He said, well, because that's Betty Ford's favorite song. I was Betty Ford, Gerald Ford's wife. I was like, yes. You're actually you're singing for Gerald Ford and his wife. I was like, you got to be kidding. It was a fashion show benefit, and I got to be the singer for Gerald Ford and his wife. Right. And I sang What I Did for Love. Kiss today, goodbye. That's the song. And point me toward tomorrow. Yeah, from a chorus line. So that was the song. And when I got up to sing it, there were thousands of people there. They had this huge jumbotron And there I was on the Jumbotron singing for her and him. I mean, that was an incredible moment that I did not see coming. And I'm just glad I was able to deliver it. And they were very gracious.
Like I said, now we can brag.
Yes.
And it's not an easy song to sing either.
No, I didn't know it. I had to learn it like in a week or less than a week.
It's very rangy, up and down, and
it is. You know. I haven't sung it since. And point me toward, we did what we had to do. La, da, da. Yeah, it goes up in the rafters. I remember that. It's a great song.
Do you know that even Ethel Merman used to use that song to close her concerts in the years right before she died?
Really?
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Just turn piano.
Wow.
She'd sing with these huge symphony orchestras. And then her encore was to come out with just the piano. And she'd be cute about it. I'm sorry, we have nothing else rehearsed, but
I'm in some pretty good company.
You're always in good company, sweetie.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even know that. I haven't even thought of that song since you mentioned it just now. That's an old memory. Wow.
That's okay. Well, it's new for our people who are watching and listening, so it's new for them.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
It's just you looking over your bio and your resume, I was just like, wow. Going from actress to singer to songwriter, releasing CDs. And let's talk about that a little bit. So you have new material coming out, from what I understand.
I do. I've been a writer for a long, long time. I wrote a one-woman show called The Pope of Jocelyn Hollow, which I performed at the Beverly Hills Playhouse and Burbank Theater, another Burbank. This was in 2018. So I've been collecting stories like the tape off the wall. I mean, that's such a great. I need to write about that. Where am I going with this? Oh, so I had kept journals my whole life, and the most logical step from recording other people's songs is to start writing your own. It's after a while you learn in the business, the money really isn't in recording other people's songs. It's in publishing. Right. It's in writing your own material. And I'm not saying that was the main reason, because it's not, because I have so much I want to say and share. And I play piano, and I'm actually accompanying myself for the first time ever. And I have so many great memories and, painful experiences, but happy things I want to share. And I have been working with a lot of collaborators. I started in LA, but when I relocated to Nashville, that's when it really kind of took off. I joined a ukulele trio with 2 other women. And during COVID, there was no work. We would put our masks on and we would go to senior centers and play. And we started harmonizing, and we became pretty good. And it's like, well, this is kind of fun, it kind of makes you a better musician when you have to harmonize with other people on the fly. You just have to listen to turn your ears on. So we started writing our own material, and then I started writing my own stuff. I mean, I can't say that there was one moment where that was just, this is it, I'm going to be a songwriter. I think this was always going to go that way. I put together, I wrote a song, I co-wrote a song called 3 Miles from Christmas Eve, which I did in September, and it was released in December. And it got, it's kind of late in the game. If you're writing Christmas songs, they really should be done a half a year before, if not longer. Right. But I got it on Spotify. I got it on a ton of playlists, and it's a classic sounding song. I'm really, really proud of it. And I've been working with Stefan Oberhoff. Jeffrey, do you know who he is? He's a musician. He's originally from Germany. I met him in LA, and I worked with him in LA. But he came to Nashville after I did. So he lives in Nashville. So I have been working with him in his studio, and we have come up with some incredible and some beautiful material. And I'm really excited about it. In fact, I'm going up again on Saturday to finish 2 new songs. So I'll have a lot more to report on that in a few weeks.
So tell me, because I don't know the answer to this, why Nashville? What brought you to Nashville that you're not out here on the West Coast being available to me to do a show with me? Because I want to.
I can come out. I was born and raised in Nashville. And when my father died, he died from COVID in 2020. I was the executor of his estate. Mm-hmm. And so he left quite a mess. He thought that he had it all organized. He didn't. And, he was 94. Wow. He was in great shape. It was shocking how it happened and the way it happened. But once I got back here, I realized I can't just fly here, do this, and go back. And it was the middle of the pandemic. So I was stuck. For a year. Yeah. And during that time, I was offered a job coaching figure skating, Scott Hamilton Skating Academy. And it saved my life because I was just grieving. My life had been upended. I had left LA and my friends and my home, my husband still in LA. I came back, and that job and being able to teach another skill to other people, really, of all the shitty things I've done in my life, like peeling that damn tape off the wall, at least I'm altruistic. I have done something really good. I have taught all of these kids and adults how to skate. I have given them so much joy and physical activity, something that's healthy and artistic, and I love doing it. It's exhausting, but that is actually paying some of the bills while I do music and write. So I have been going back and forth. I still have a home in Studio City. I've just been entrenched here doing all of these other things. But Jeffrey, I want to come back. Give me a reason to come back. Let's plan a show.
No, I'm giving you. I'm doing this in public. I want to do a show with you. Let's do a show together.
I really want to do a show.
And let's do something nice for someone right now. You brought up figure skating.
Yes.
And another former figure skater, Elaine Ballas.
Yes.
Is fighting the good fight.
Yes.
Against cancer. And let's hey, everybody watching and listening, let's set a prayer chain out for her. Yep. It's getting very, very serious, unfortunately. It's not going well. Let's put it out to the universe that she needs to get better. Let's do that as our good deed for the day. All right, everybody, on the count of 3, just send out Elaine Ballas healthy energy. 1, 2, 3. Elaine Ballas, healthy energy.
Yes. Light.
Yes.
Healing.
Okay, back to the show. Yeah. So yes, I want to do a show with you. Absolutely. Because our voices would blend well. And
I think so too.
And let's add a string section to jazz. That would be hot.
Well, I know where to get them.
I know you do. I know you do.
Who to call.
And I owe Lisa Gibson a jazz brunch anyway for her show, for her charity. So let's. Lisa Gibbons has a charity for Alzheimer's.
It's for caregivers. It's for the caregivers.
Caregivers of people.
This is so important. These are the people who shoulder all of the stress. And what she does is she provides resources and help for people for caretakers who have nowhere else to go. And even just answering questions, counseling, providing people to come and help. And I wish I had known about that or had been able to take advantage of that when my mother died of Alzheimer's. We were flying blind and we did everything wrong. Did all the things that you're not supposed to do. Textbook, you're never supposed to get upset. You're never supposed to blame the person. You're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to take care of yourself. Caregivers never take care of themselves.
Right.
They don't. They do not.
No. So here's my idea. I just had it just this second.
Ding, 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 ding.
And I'm not kidding. Just this second. In 1953, the Ford Motor Company celebrated their 50th anniversary with a 2-hour special that was broadcast on both CBS and NBC simultaneously. The hit of the show, they got Ethel Merman and Mary Martin to come out and do a 10-minute thing, singing some of their hits and singing duets together and doing counterpoint songs.
Yes.
I think you and I should recreate that 10 minutes as the finale of the show while we do other things and sing a couple of jazz things together. That's our finale.
I love it.
So there we go, folks.
So, and I'm going to throw out, if you get me a sponsor, Jeff and I will fly out and broadcast it live.
There you go.
Yes.
Just saying. Just saying. Just going to throw that out there. I'm going to plant the seed.
Oh, boy. Who can we get?
We'll and we'll involve Lisa and the charity, and we'll make this the biggest moneymaker Lisa ever had.
Oh my goodness, she'd be thrilled, and she's so easy to work with. She is so wonderful.
She's a sweetheart.
Oh my God! And her assistant, I can't remember her assistant. She was wonderful. She was a joy to work with. They gave me everything I needed, and I hope I was able to help them in some way. I just love what they're doing.
You helped them in many. You were like Wonder Bread, good for you in 10 different ways.
We're gonna make that happen, Jeffrey.
We're gonna make that happen, and Ben and Jeff are gonna come out and broadcast it, and we'll have it. We'll be all over the country raising money for Lisa.
Yeah, it'll be all over the world. We'll put the link right in the show notes.
We're gonna do that.
So, and I do want to say real quick to our viewers and our listeners, if you want to know more about our amazing guest, check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Everything about her is in there. So including her Spotify and all that. So I'll clarify.
All the things
all the things for the stuff is there.
There are a lot of things.
Yeah, but the tape is missing. I don't know where that went.
We never found it.
We're being very giddy tonight, and I'm glad.
I cannot believe you guys got me to tell you that story.
It's a comfort zone. So before we went live, I explained to you, it's like literally being in the backyard with your friends and just chatting. And it's about comfort, and it's about the guest.
Right. And you asked me when was the moment, and that really was the moment. And I remember judges up to me afterwards, after my dastardly deeds, and they said, "You were just a star. We could not take our eyes off of you. You are a performer." And I thought, wow, I thought I was going into advertising. Maybe I'm missing my calling. I should probably do something else.
You are an entertainer.
I'm an entertainer. Yes.
There are people out there who are singers or actors, but very few of us are entertainers. A very quick Jeff story. I make it because this is about you tonight. I was invited to sing for the Johnny Mercer Foundation.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I sang, a Quincy Jones arrangement of Satin Doll, because, go big or go home.
That's awesome.
And Johnny Mercer's grandson runs the foundation. The whole Mercer family was there. And then, of course, all the other people. This is at the Catalina Jazz in Hollywood.
Yes.
And he got up on stage when I was finished. And he started kibitzing with me. And he whispered in my ear, "You're an entertainer. You're different."
Wait, and who whispered this? Who whispered this?
Johnny Mercer's grandson.
That's amazing. Oh my
God. And some other time I'll tell you what it is I did that made him think that way. But he said, "You're the only person I've ever heard who sang the lyrics to Satin Doll." So Duke Ellington, the music, Johnny Mercer, the lyrics.
Yes.
That you're the only one who understood what the lyrics meant. You're the only one.
Wow.
So yay.
Wow.
Because we're entertainers. We get it.
Yes.
Put a microphone or a camera or a spotlight on us, and we're ready.
Well, you're ready, but the reason you're ready is because you've done the work and you understand what it is that you're communicating. It's acting, it's singing, it's communicating. It is sharing, and it's having a strong point of view.
When I first started singing Satin Doll, just from my own amusement, and my friends would say, "Oh, it's a great tune, but those lyrics are terrible. Why do you want to sing that?" And I thought about it, and I said, "There's something in those lyrics for me." And then it hit me what it was.
You have to share.
Cigarette holders, which wigs me over my shoulder. He digs me out, cat in my satin doll.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm nobody's fool, but I'm playing the fool as can be.
Yep.
I'll give it a whirl because I ain't for no girl catching me. Switcheroony. Satin Doll is a song about being gay.
Oh.
That Johnny Mercer wrote. And his family says, yes, that's what the song is about. Nobody else got it.
Nobody else got it. So obvious. Now that
now that I brought it up, but before then,
of course.
So I felt so good about that. It's like, yes, I understood.
Of course. Of course.
So I'll sing that in our show. When we do the show together, I'll do that arrangement so you can hear how it goes.
And anything by Johnny Mercer, I just love. I went to visit his gravesite in Savannah, Georgia. And everybody leaves little martini glasses on his gravestone and little pianos, and he's a treasure. He was a treasure.
Mm-hmm. I was very lucky. The very first professional show business job I got was playing Mayor Dogmeat in Little Abner, and all the lyrics are by Johnny Mercer. So my first time out, I got to sing his lyrics, and it's a typical day in Dogpatch, USA. That's how I got started. So yay for Johnny Mercer.
You've got good taste. Good taste.
Yes, I do. Also in Friends.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. So do I. So do I.
Ben, you're talking too much. You're monopolizing the whole conversation.
This is the type of show that I enjoy because Laura's done most of the talking tonight, which is exactly how we want the show to go. Because the show's not about me or you or Jeff when he's here. It's about the guest. But one thing I do want to bring up, because we're getting closer to the times, but not only are you national known, but you're internationally known with your music. So, St. Petersburg, Russia, Ireland, you've performed in these places.
Yes.
What was that like?
Well, I will tell you. When I went to,
you have no show if you don't tell us. So tell us, please.
When I went to Russia, I went with my dad, and he had been booked. But he wanted to bring me along. He said, I will go if my daughter can come. And I was like, okay. And they brought, and because he didn't want to perform by himself. My dad and we did a duo thing. He played piano and I sang. We did this for years. So I went, and Jeffrey, you'll love this. Do you know what I did before I went? I took classes in how to speak Russian because I did not want to go to Russia and not be able to communicate with the musicians.
Spasiba.
So yes, da. So I learned how to say, bыстро, медленно, how to say too fast, too slow, слишком много, introduce myself, меня зовут Laura. I learned not all, it's a very complicated language, but I learned the Cyrillic alphabet. I learned how to read the signs, the street signs. And so when I went to Russia, I got invited back. I got to go a second time. I performed at the Grand Hotel, which is a 5-star palatial place, Nevsky Prospect. And by then, I had like a Russian band. I had these guys played with me during 2 tours, And the second time, I actually had a little Russian in my back pocket, and we could actually communicate somewhat. They laughed at my accent. I sounded like an Italian Italian Russian. Yeah, Laura. It was like this.
But all the vodka smoothed everything out.
Right. The vodka's very good, I have to say. Pure vodka in Russia, it's the purest. But I thought you would be impressed that I actually took it that seriously, that I would learn how to speak Russian. And when I came back, I thought, well, I might as well continue. So I ended up studying Russian for 4 years at the Beverly Hills Lingual Institute.
Good. Then you can help me with my Russian.
Why not? And I haven't spoken Russian in a while because unfortunately, I don't see myself going back to Russia anytime soon, given everything. But I have some friends there I sure would love to see. I stayed at their dacha. They were lovely people. We went mushroom hunting.
I'm sure there were a lot of people there who said "Bojalsta" to you.
They did, yes, and they loved American jazz. You know, they loved to play it. Although when they played it, it sounded more like John Philip Sousa. It was kind of a it's like, they can't swing. It's not in the culture.
The only Russian swing is klezmer music, which is which is the Jewish Yiddish jazz.
Yes.
That's where jazz comes from. People don't know that jazz is a melding of the African American and the Eastern European Jewish klezmer music together.
That's right.
That became jazz.
That's right. But if you were to get this band to try to play Satin Doll, it would sound like a march. This particular,
And you know what? I'd go right along with it and sing it as a march. I can do that.
Yeah, that's what I did. The drummer was just. Everything was, a march-like shuffle. But
it's why Ella always traveled with her own trio, just to make sure.
Yes, I have not had that luxury. I would love to do that. But they were wonderful people, and I do hope one day I get to go back. I loved the people that I worked with, and I loved St. Petersburg. I never went to Moscow or any, I was only in St. Petersburg. Oh, but I did go to I went to the dacha, which was, I can't remember the city, but you had to take a train to get there, and it was out in the country. And I felt like I was really in the heartland. It felt like Tolstoy, the land of Tolstoy. It was really interesting. I want to travel.
My people are from Pinsk, which is a suburb of Minsk, and Odessa. So I'm part Belarusian and part Ukrainian, which means I'm always fighting with myself. But no, I would. That really is my background. Seriously,
I'm not making fun.
No, it's fine. Make fun. I don't care. But I would love to go. Well, you know what? We'll put this show together and we'll take it on the road, baby.
Let's go. You should go. That's in your DNA.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Irish. I need to go back to Ireland. I'd like to do that again. I've
been to England. I've never been to Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland is something else. It's special. I went to Dublin, and it was back in the 90s. I would really, really, really love to go again.
So your favorite Irish memory, because we're running a little bit short on time.
Oh gosh. Well, okay.
That was about a guy.
I did meet somebody. I met somebody. He was a musician. He was very out there, and he actually was not Irish. He was with the group that went with us. But it was magical, and we were staying in this castle, and he was this incredible guitar player, incredible, sexy guitar player. If you want to grab this heart, be a musician, a really good one, and he was great. So, yes, we had a little fling in Dublin. I wasn't married.
I'm sitting here shaking my head because there's a joke I'm dying to make, and I'm not going to do it because we're running out of time.
She didn't even have to tell the story. The face when you asked the question gave it all away instantly. It was instant.
We were in a castle.
Their fingertips get very rough. Let's put it that way.
I was in a castle having a love affair. I mean, come on, who gets to say that? Who gets to do that?
There's a song.
In a castle.
Now we're bragging.
Now we're bragging.
Now we're
Love
bragging.
Affair in a Castle. That's a song.
Castle. Ooh, that's a good title.
Yeah.
Love Affair.
You may
in a
use
Castle. Thank you. I will take that. I will take that.
Are you ASCAP or BMI?
I am BMI.
I'm ASCAP. It's okay. It's okay. We'll bridge the gap.
Are we on opposite sides of the fence?
Not at all. You and I are never on the opposite side of anything.
Never. I'm only BMI because my dad was BMI and I didn't know what else to do. Whatever dad said, I did.
For those of you who are wondering what the hell we're talking about, it's where you put your songs that they watch over your payments and things.
Yes.
And ASCAP is more old school kinds of music, and BMI is more modern and rock and stuff because they were in competition. So
you're saying I'm old school.
No, you're BMI, you're new school.
Oh, BMI is new school. I got it backwards.
ASCAP is old school.
Oh, the truth is I am pretty old school.
Well, you're an old soul,
I'm an old soul. I like Johnny Mercer. That's old school, you know.
It is. And he's one of the people who founded ASCAP. So there you go.
Right. Oh, that's it. I'm going to have to look into that. I didn't realize that one association was different from the other. I thought they both basically just kind of did the same thing.
Just for the folks who are watching, just so they know what in the world we're talking about.
Yeah. It's an organization that collects royalties for songwriters. I haven't received a huge check, but still waiting. Maybe.
Yeah, I've been waiting for my latest money from my big hit, Bisexuality. So no, seriously, I am an ASCAP. Look up ASCAP. My song is in there. I promise you.
It just doesn't even sound right.
Bisexuality.
And you have some royalties.
Gives you 2 sex to molest. It's all for the best. I'm telling you, it's a song.
It sounds like a hit.
Well, I sang it an awful lot in the 1970s, so hopefully
you did.
Remember
well, you are using royalties.
No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't kidding.
No, that's for real. That's a long time ago, and you wrote it.
Well, I'm old. It's a long time ago. I wrote it. I wrote it when I was a teenager.
You know what? There are a lot of royalties that are probably owed a lot of songwriters that will never be recovered because people, they don't pay. They don't pay.
Don't get me started on that.
I know that's a whole. Yeah.
And it's not just the music industry.
No, books. Yeah. You know how much money I'm owed from publishers on books I've written that I'm never going to see?
Oh.
I'm going to say that was one of the biggest reasons when Jeff and I sat down and we started writing the novel series and the comic book series.
Yeah.
Everything stayed independent.
Yeah.
It was us.
Yeah.
There was no, if we went to a publisher for the novel, it was like, oh, we're going to do this. And no. Here's a check. This is what you're going to do for me.
Yes.
Period.
Well, now with social media and podcasting and everything, you don't need them, right? I mean, you can, that's the great thing. If there is
we can cut the BMI ass cap right out of this.
Right. You want my music? Buy it for me.
It's been such a long time since my ass has been capped. So
now that was TMI.
Yes.
And if that happens more, it'll be TMZ. But
boy,
I'm on fire now, baby. Let me tell you.
Roll.
I'm just so happy to see you, Laura. I think all of this exuberance is just spending time with you.
Oh, it's great. I just love this. This is so fun. We're going to do this again.
We're going to do it in person and we're going to do it for an audience.
That's I'm serious about the show. Let's do this. I'll come back. I just need a reason. You
have my phone number. Do you not?
I have. Well, I know we're connected on social media.
Okay.
For sure. Because I
reach out. We're going to start. Folks, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I've committed publicly that we're going to do this.
Yeah, as have I.
Yay.
As have
yes,
I.
and I'm sorry, I can't edit this out because this is not pre-recorded. This is live.
No, we're live, baby.
We are bound.
I am putting it out there. This is happening.
Yeah, and I haven't done a show in LA since the Hard Rock Cafe. So,
it's time.
It's time. It is definitely time. Let's make this happen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ben, we're running
Yeah.
out of time. Do you have a last? You always ask me. I'm going to ask you. Do you have another question you'd like to ask this beautiful young lady?
No. I threw all my show notes away because you took up the whole show. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I just loved the interview as always. Great guests, great co-hosts. Missing our third wheel because
we are missing Jeff. We are missing
wheel, third part of the show.
Right. Well, I think you guys handled it very, very well, and this was so much fun.
It's rough when there's just two of us because I'm watching for comments over here or anything, questions that might come in, and I'm checking different things as we go. I got it running live over here. So I'm glad that Jeffrey knows how to talk.
Oh, well, that's good. That's Jeffrey does know how to talk. He also knows how to sing and write.
I do. Laura, all of our fans who are the 1.3 million people who might be watching us or watching a rerun of this, how can they find you in your media? If you want to be here, if they want to be in touch with Laura Pursell, how do they do it?
Well, my website, laurapurcell.com, LAUR, and don't misspell my name, people. It's SPURSELL. I don't know why my ancestors decided to change the spelling because now nobody knows how to spell my name, but it's PURSELL, laurapurcell.com. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can Google me. I can even give you my email address.
No, don't do that in public. That's a mistake, Mark.
I won't do that. I won't give you my phone number, but I'm kind of like a cockroach. I'm everywhere. It's just, it's hard to avoid me.
So again, folks, for everybody watching or listening, if you want to find out more about Laura, it's in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you watch or listen to us.
I'm
but it's
kind
there.
of horrified that 1 million people are going to hear about the tape.
They're gonna enjoy the story, sweetie. Really,
they're gonna do the same thing I did. Laugh.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really
a great
nice person.
So, folks, if you're missing your tape, Laura has it.
I'm not ambitious. I'm not really sweet person. I would never do that. It was someone else.
So the moral of the story is she's a huge talent, a lovely woman, and don't fuck with her.
I have a dark passenger.
The moral of the story is make sure you tell her there's rules.
Yeah.
That's it.
She will follow the rules. She will.
Rules. If you tell me there are no rules, I will take you seriously.
And then you will lose.
If you tell her there's no rules, she will take you seriously.
Exactly.
So,
Laura, you have made me so happy today. Thank you.
Oh, you made me happy. This is
my side hurts.
Highlight of my week. This is great.
Yay.
Oh, so Jeffrey, any last questions or comments for our guest?
Buy her just buy her CDs. Pray
in the
for
show notes,
Elaine,
folks.
And I have another show besides this one, Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella. We recorded our second video version today. They aren't available yet, but they will be available very soon in all the platforms where the audio version was heard. So we're working on it, boys and girls.
Yay.
I think we need to bring your YouTube channel to this network and stop pushing it over these other platforms and give you more eyes on the prize.
That's a good idea. I need to do the same thing. I keep forgetting to mention my YouTube channel. I got some cool stuff on there too. Videos.
It's in the show notes.
Yeah.
I didn't forget.
All my videos I did. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, people love YouTube. We have to talk it up. We have to let people know about that.
Oh yeah, they do. They love YouTube. I mean, we stream on 9 different YouTube channels.
Oh, that's great.
But the video is only archived on 2 YouTube channels.
Okay.
But it's everywhere else. So
well, and I'm going to share the link with all my followers too. It's fun.
Excellent. So everybody look forward to the Pursell and Mark show coming to a town near you soon.
Coming soon.
I gave you top billing.
Really?
Pursell and Mark. I'm a gentleman.
Oh, well, Pursell and Mark does sound better than Mark and Pursell, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right. Well, if you do Pursell and Mark and you take just the first initials, all your shows will be in the afternoon, PM.
PM.
There's no AM shows. It's all PM.
Right. And PM sounds better than MP, I believe.
Pursell and Mark.
Like I said, I'm a really nice person, so I don't care.
Yes, you are a really nice person. That's why I love you. Get me out of this, Ben.
All right, I'll get you out of this.
Oh, God. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Excellent. So we want to thank Laura for taking time out of her busy schedule at the ice skating rink, folks, teaching tonight, to come and hang out and have some fun. You know, of course, thank you to Mr. Jeffrey Mark, as always, my brother from another. And to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We are out of here.
God bless and have a happy.
Thank you.
So come on.